Good morning, everybody. It is Thursday, December 14th, 15th, actually. And I wanted to talk about the inception of the flow of goodness in life and how, as we're bringing online the circuitry of our authentic divine blueprint, we can begin to experience tangibly this initiation of the flow of goodness. And maybe goodness has always been flowing. Of course it has, but we're starting to align with, in our human selves, in our human vessels, we're starting to align with this flow of goodness. And when I say flow of goodness, goodness can come from many things, but in my particular life, this is about experiencing, giving my gifts, the gifts that bring me joy to put into the world, and then having finances come back. So feeling the circuitry of giving the gifts. For me, it's music, it's healing, it's sound, it's being with children and creating art and music and all these things, right? Doing what is my joy to do and then receiving financial abundance. This is how that circuitry, that feedback loop of love loving itself is expressed. Because pretty much all of my known life, my adult life, there's been a separation between money and my right livelihood, right? It's like, okay, you have to sacrifice if you're going to have money. You're going to have to do something you don't want to do because that's where the circuit is in place automatically, right? But I've always been struggling, but I have to do what my joy is. I have to do what my passion is. So how do I unite those two? And just yesterday, I started feeling this inception of those two uniting, where I'm bringing my passion, I'm bringing my joy, and someone is paying me for that in a way that was really, really beautiful. And it was a surprise. It came out of nowhere. And so the more it can just be like breathing in and breathing out, right? It's like we breathe out our joyful gift. We breathe in financial abundance. We breathe out our joyful gift. We breathe in financial abundance. This is the best way to experience kind of the proof that the circulation of God consciousness is happening within the vessel, within the form. Now, you could say it's really not about money, right? Because it's really about abundance. It's the flow of abundance, the abundance of life force, right? So experiencing embodied joy is very important, right? Because there can be people that are born with tons of financial wealth and it's just automatically, it's just there for them. But the embodied circuitry of joy is not there for them, right? And that's something they're going to have to clear their shadow emotions, release fear. They're going to have to open themselves to gratitude. Gratitude is the currency of abundance. It's literally what creates, what mends the circuitry, right? And so in a culture where we've pretty much had economic enslavement and where we're coming into a new earth that is economic freedom and joy and blossoming prosperity by connecting every piece in the puzzle with its ultimate receptivity for what it's giving, so that it circulates through the whole of creation, giving its authentic gift and receiving bounty within that system. Now, someday we might not even have money, right? Money won't be even something we can look at the feedback. But for right now, for me, because I'm newly coming out of this poverty consciousness of economic enslavement or bust, right? Either you're enslaved or you're abundant. For me, it's a really good litmus test that abundance is aligning with finances, right? That is kind of showing me, oh boy, that's a brand new circuit coming online that's directly connected to my willingness to allow love to embody this vessel, to allow joy to really be able to get into this vessel, right? Because I can have joy up here in my mind, up here in my higher chakras, but to get it down into the lower chakras, well, that's been a real struggle, right? And so this abundance of the giving and then the receiving of finances is showing me that I'm getting down into those lower chakras of joyful embodiment, right? So this convergence of joyful embodiment and right livelihood, they're all part of the same timeline, right? As we embody more and more joy, more and more bliss, this is the sign that our circuitry of the Christ, our circuitry of God, our circuitry of goodness is coming online. It's waking up. In fact, maybe that'll be the title of this video. The circuitry of goodness is waking up as embodied joy and right livelihood. The circuitry of goodness is waking up, and it's showing up as right livelihood, as giving our gifts and receiving financial abundance, right? It's showing and being in the body and being able to have the vital life force circulate, right? I've had kind of chronic fatigue for years because so much trauma and pain in the body that I was terrified to exercise in a lot of ways, just minimal exercise, or I freak out, I get totally exhausted. There's just, right? And my husband goes up the hills and he loves exercise. And finally, only right now am I really starting to tell myself it's safe to exercise. It's safe to be alive, right? Because we've had a lot of corruption in the blood code, in the bone code, in the skin code. So when the Christ tries to embody, there's an experience of a lot of obstacle, a lot of fear, a lot of pain, a lot of sorrow. And so it's like, okay, just stay out of the body. You can't go in there very much, which sounds crazy, right? That sounds crazy because the body is our vessel. But truly, we have not had a clean vessel to occupy. I think my husband's calling me, so I'll stop here. So this is the embodiment of joyful circuitry, the circuitry of goodness. May we all feel this in our lives more and more. Much love.